Hey guys, Jason here, Samco Workshop. Today we're talking about these Toyo Open Country AT3 tires. On here, we have them on this Jeep. They are in a 351150. Okay, it's actually not a P metric tire. It's actually a true 351150, and that's the reason we went with these is because there's not a lot of options in a 351150 when I bought these back in September. It's got 14,000 miles on the truck, which means we got actually we're like 14.6 maybe. Let's take a look and see here for real. 14.5, so we're 14,500 miles on here, which means he's got about 13,800 miles on these tires from when we put them on. And I really like them out here. They got some pros and some cons, but my first time having Toyo Open Countries, Toyo tires, I bought them because the reviews are good on them, and people say they got a lot of tread life to them, which is important to me because of the fact that I live out here, and this stuff is where I spend 90% of my time. But if this Jeep is not out here in the swamps, and that's why I stopped here to do this video, because I knew I was going to get them all muddy in a minute, and I thought I'd do this before we hit there. But not only do they spend all their time out here in the swamps, okay, dealing with mud, massive amounts of mud. They are, other than that, it's on the highway. And I also live in Georgia, so down here, I mean, through, like when I bought these in September, October, we get a lot of days that are 90, 100-degree temperatures, and that asphalt on the highways is pretty bad. So these take a lot of heat abuse down here, dealing with that kind of stuff. So I needed something that was good durability for highway use, and I also wanted something that was going to give me some pretty good traction out here. Normally, I'm a huge fan of the Falcon Wild Peak AT3s, okay? I've had them on like 9 trucks. My wife has them on her 4Runner still right now, and I love those tires, but they did not make the AT3 in this size. So the Toyo is what I had to go with. There are some things that I love about it. I love the offset lugs. Okay, you can see how they're offset when you look at them down an angle. Okay, you can see that this one comes out, this one goes in. This one comes out, this one goes in. So they give you a really good side bite on there. These side biters could definitely be a little bit bigger. Okay, they're a little weak on the side biter, and as you can imagine, with all the holes and the loose dirt and the sand and the mud I'm in, side biters are a nice benefit to have, but they do come down pretty far down the side of the tire, so it's kind of nice, but they are not as prominent as I wish they were on there. That would be a lot nicer if they were. So you had that, because believe it or not, I use these side biter tractions a lot in the mud. They're very, very handy. You notice the difference on the Falcons, with that, having that is a good thing. The tread pattern is nice because of these little kickers in between here. They don't really hold and throw a lot of rock. The Falcon Wild Peak AT3s throw more rocks than what these do at the side of your car. Now, don't get me wrong, I still get some rock throw, which you can see all of that. Well, you can't, but it's covered up right now, but there's a lot of dings and chips in there. And even on, see, these are getting hit already, but look at the stone chips on here. Okay, see all the stone chips on my hinges? Those are from rocks being thrown for the tires. These definitely don't throw as bad as the Falcons do, but that is something to consider. The tread pattern is a very cool pattern. See, like this is 5 across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, and they are smaller lugs, where the Falcon Wild Peak is 4 across and they're bigger lugs. So it's kind of, everything's a trade-off, but these traction wise, I've been very impressed with the traction I'm getting out of these. They work very well out here. I'm very, very happy with that. I like the overall look of the tire. I'm impressed with them so far. Now, there are some negative things to these that do definitely bum me out. For example, let's look at this one here. Let's take this. Okay, tread depth on these tires with 13,800 miles on them right now is literally right at 14/32 of an inch on here. Okay, I actually measured that. We're at 14/32 of an inch tread depth on this. I have a homemade measure that I made out of an eraser and a pin. It pushes down. But anyway, I showed that in another video hack, a truck hack video. But these are at 14. Is where these are now. Now, they come at 16.9 when you buy them. So we're just a smidge over 14. So call it, we're basically down 2.5 30 of an inch in 13,000 miles. That's not that good. Okay, that's not good at all, especially considering this truck spends most of its time out here. If we look at the spare you can just see on the spare the tread depth. You can noticeably see the depth is more on the tread depth on these, which is at 16.5 on mine. Okay, they say 16.9, but 16.5, and we are definitely lower on the you can tell they're getting you can tell they're down a smidge. And my wife on her 4Runner, which only sees highway miles, it never comes out in this stuff, my wife's 4Runner, her Falcon Wild Peaks have got 30,000 miles on them, and she has deeper tread life, or deeper tread than I have on these, and these are only got 13,500 on them. So hopefully what I'm hoping is that it's just that initial wear off, and that this durometer is strong enough that it's not going to continue through, because at that rate, that means that I'll have to replace these at like probably 40,000 miles, and that's going to piss me off pretty bad if that's the case. So we'll see. Hopefully not, because people tell me they're a good long-term tire, and they got and they have like a 55,000 mile or 60,000 mile warranty on them. But that warranty may mean that they get all the way down. I'm not going to drive. I can't be out here on bald tires. Okay, so that warranty doesn't mean nothing to me if that warranty is down here for like being 4 or 5, 30 seconds. I'm not tolerating that. So we'll see what happens. The Goodyear Duratrax I had on my Tacoma held out fantastic for 60,000 miles, still had more than half a tread life left. If I can get 50,000 miles out of these and be above half tread life, I would be probably pretty happy. If I don't, and these start dropping too quick and start pissing me off, we're going to replace them. Because now, as I see now, since I bought these, the Falcon Wild Peak AT4 is out. That AT4 is available in a 351150, I believe. And so is the, what's the other one? The new Falcon RT, the kind of the crossover hybrid tire designed for this too. So I got 2 Falcon options in this size that were not available to me at the time I bought these. So this is nice that that's a backup option. But so far, my only complaints on these tires, seems like the tread's wearing quicker than what it should. Like I said, for my wife to have little 32-inch Falcon Wild Peaks on her 4Runner and have deeper tread set than what I have on these. Hers has 30,000 miles. Mine's only got 13,000 miles on these. That's a little upsetting. The lack of side biter on here, not being very aggressive. I mean, they're basically not even really noticeable. Is kind of a bummer. I wish that had more on there, especially with how much I end up using it out here in the mud and in this kind of crap here like this. So we shall see. So are they a good tire? So far, they're proving to be okay. They do, though, however, have me on a cautious reserve that makes me pay attention to them because of the wear on them is kind of upsetting me a little bit. We shall see. And like I said, everybody's different. Maybe that tire is designed to wear a little bit in the beginning and slow down. I know the Falcons wear really good, but when they hit about 50,000 miles, they stop wearing pretty much. They just stay there, but then they get very loud, they get annoying, and they make a lot of noise, but they never wear. You could run them to like 80,000 miles and they still don't wear. It's like almost 2 different durometer levels, it feels like in there, where it's, main tire all the way to halfway, and from halfway on, they're just like a hard, brick. It's different, but at least they still have traction and function. But they do get loud after 50,000 miles. We will see what these do. I cannot make that determination yet, but so far I really like them. Road noise-wise, they are very quiet. There's no doubt about it. I don't want to say they're quieter than a Falcon Wild Peak, because the Falcons are very quiet too. Like I said, Falcons are quiet till you hit about 50,000 miles, and then all of a sudden they just start to get loud, and you'll notice it almost overnight, and then they start making a wom 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 kind of noise on a regular basis when you're driving. They get that hum, and it might again be a durometer change or whatever they got going on in the tread design. But so we don't know what these will do because I only have 13,000 miles on them, but so far, just like when you put a new Falcon tire on, but these ones are very quiet. Okay, I get very little road noise. I get very little rock slinging with them, which is a very nice feature as well too. They evacuate mud well for an all-terrain tire. And what I mean by that is I know because they're throwing mud even at slow speeds. Like if I drive through this hole right here, through this mud hole that I'm about to have to go through, when I go through that and I cut the side of that, I'm going to chock those tires full of mud. and they will evacuate and start throwing that mud all over my truck at very low speeds, even 4 or 5 miles an hour, and I got chunks of mud just flinging everywhere. So they evacuate it very well. Where with some tires, you'll see you got to really get on the gas hard to spin them hard to get them to throw any of that mud out to clear out. These tread gaps in here and these little evacuators like they got on here are good enough that, like I said, it kicks the mud out pretty well. So that's pretty impressive. But again, tread depth is pretty weak. You know, at 30 seconds right now with only 13,000 miles on it. So that might be part of the reason you don't get to hold as much mud either. Where those Falcons, they're deeper, you know, even after 30,000 miles. So like I said, jury's out on them. Not 100% sold. I liked them when I put them on. I was excited based on all the reviews I read on tire life and durability and that kind of stuff. So far, like I said, I don't mind them. But you know, knowing what I know now, these would not be my first choice because of the fact of the tread life and that the weak side cutters on here. But I do love the offset tread. I do love some features on them. We'll see. Maybe that durometer is real soft in the beginning and it's going to harden up enough that where they're going to, you know, that tread life's going to hold. Only time will tell, and we shall see. But like I said, I'll be pretty pissed if I don't get 50,000 miles out of these. And if I don't, then I go, lesson learned and go on to different tires. But so far, mixed feelings, not too bad. Kind of like the tire, like its performance, like what it does. Little disappointed in the tread life, little disappointed in the side cutter, or the side cutters that are on it compared to some of the stuff that's out there. So, but it's been around for a long time. It's been a proven tire, but my firsthand experience will have to see what it does for me out here with a combination of this stuff all the time and highway miles. And so far, the tread is the biggest bummer on it. The tread wear. I'm a little cautious on the tread wear, but and I wish it had more side biters, but I like them. Would I buy these again? Right now, my opinion is no, because for the same price, I can get the Falcons. And in my opinion, nobody makes a better off-road tire or an all-terrain tire than Falcon. The Falcon Wild Peak AT3 has been proven. Like I said, I've had it on many vehicles, and I straight up love them. And if I had that choice, I would have bought them over this in a heartbeat. And now they got the AT4 out that is interesting. Falcon has a Wild Peak AT4, which I'd like to check out. And they also have the RT, that hybrid tire that I'd like to check out. So I probably will not buy these again. But they were, decent setup. I got 4 tires plus to spare. So I got all 4, 35, 11, 50 by 17s. But I got 4 of these plus to spare for like $1,860. So I can't really complain on that. Price-wise. So it worked out pretty decent. I bought them through Simple Tire, had them shipped right to my house, and then I brought them to Discount Tire, which charged me $180 to install all 4, or install all 5, including putting the spare on. So not a bad deal. And but since I want to stay with 35 1150s, because I have a 7.5-inch rim, I cannot fit a 35 1250 on these with these stock rims legally, technically, and because of the width. But also because if I were to put 35 1250s on these with stock rims, I lose some of my articulation, and when I got the sway bar disconnected, I'm going to be rubbing and chewing on stuff in here. I'm not having any of that crap. These give me everything I need. So 35, 11, 50, 17s, love them. These Toyos, I'm happy with them. Do I think they're the best? Not yet. We'll see. Time will tell. But like I said, so far, I'm pretty impressed with them. I just wish, I hope this tread thing, the tread wear issue, slows itself down pretty good. Because like I said, my wife's tires has got 30,000 highway miles on them, and they're not wearing as fast as these are. They got more tread on them than these do at 13,000. So we shall see what happens. But so far, not a bad tire. Not a bad tire at all. But Falcon still wins for me, in my opinion.